Starting today, thousands of medical providers are getting a 21% pay cut from Uncle Sam.
That's going to threaten access for millions of Medicare patients.
A senator's bizarre behavior takes a cruel turn. Since Senator Jim Bunning blocked a short-term funding bill, the passage of which was inevitable, unemployment benefits for 400,000 Americans have now officially expired, and 2,000 people are now out of work. Today, 2,000 federal transportation workers were furloughed without pay. Work was scheduled to stop at multiple construction sites around the nation. Several transportation safety programs were also halted, including drunk driving programs, all thanks to Senator Bunning sticking his thumb in the works, an act that can be effective for only a few days. Unemployment benefits for 400,000 people affected. Also, a 21% cut in Medicare fees paid to doctors has been triggered. And though eventual passage of a bill will correct these lapses, it will not be without additional unnecessary cost to the federal government. But Bunning's behavior has surprised no one in the Senate. When running for re-election 6 years ago, Bunning said that his Democratic opponent looked like one of Saddam Hussein's sons. Bunning's behavior was so strange during the campaign that Republicans begged him not to run again this year. In 2006, Time magazine called him one of America's 5 worst senators. Last year, Bunning predicted that Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg would be dead from pancreatic cancer within 9 months. In the Senate, Bunning is regarded as a very, very strange man with a nasty temper. Earlier today, when Jonathan Karl of ABC News tried to get an explanation of Bunning's most recent act of weirdness, he got this.
So we just wanted to ask you...
Excuse me, this is a senator-only elevator.
Can I come on the elevator?
No, you may not.
Can you tell us why you're blocking this vote?
I already did. Explained it.
Well, what is the issue? And are you concerned about these people who are unemployed?
I've got to go to the floor.
Senator, can you just explain to us why you're holding this up? I'm sure you have an explanation.
Excuse me.
Okay, are you concerned about those that are going to lose their benefits?
And Karl says that before the cameras were rolling, Bunning shot him the middle finger. Later on the Senate floor today, Bunning defiantly repeated his rights.
Anybody, 100 of us, can object to anything that is brought to the floor of the U.S. Senate. Whether it be a nominee, whether it be a judge, whether it be somebody that is appointed to the Treasury, anybody can object.
Let's bring in the Washington editor of TheNation, Chris Hayes. Chris, Senator Bunning is one of the stranger men in the body.
Sure
to call him a contrarian would be the kindest thing you could call him. But is this a new high or a new low for him, I guess, depending on how you look at it?
Well, I think it is a new low. I mean, there are real, genuine human consequences to what he's done. I mean, a lot of it is contingent on whether everybody can get together and pass something in the next few days that's retroactively operable, which means the COBRA won't lapse for people and they'll get their unemployment checks. But there's hundreds of thousands of people there and a projected 1.2 million people not getting unemployment if they don't get this done by the end of the week. And, you know, Bunning is complaining that he had to miss a basketball game. It has this sort of like, you know, Rome right at the fall kind of feel to it, that he's fiddling while people in the country are suffering from tremendous misery.
And just in case Republicans thought this was going to be perceived as one weird guy on the floor, it is having some serious spillover effects to other Republicans. For example, the Huffington Post is right now reporting that Senator John Kyl of Arizona today, out on the floor while discussing this situation because it involves unemployment benefits, out on the floor he said that some people are enjoying, in effect, their unemployment because people are being paid even though they're not working. Those are Kyl's words. Kyl said that unemployment insurance doesn't create create new jobs. In fact, if anything, continuing to pay people unemployment compensation is a disincentive for them to seek new work. Chris, this is amazing stuff coming as we're facing the worst unemployment rates we've seen since the Depression. For the Republicans to be pumping this out is very harmful to them as a group, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I really hope that America gets the message here. Bunning may be a bizarre character, but he's doing nothing less than channeling the modus operandi of the Senate Republican caucus, which is to obstruct, which is to deny the American people the most basic kind of services they expect from their government. And the message from John Kyl, who isn't this sort of bizarre contrarian figure, is to Americans that are unemployed. Everyone should understand this. The 10 million people out there, if you're unemployed, get off your fat ass and find a job. That's what the Republican caucus's message is. And they don't care whether you've applied 1 million times, if you've been unemployed for 9 months, if you've tried everything you've done to get a job. That is what John Kyl thinks about the people who are unemployed. And Americans should really understand who's in their corner in this sort of thing.
Before we leave the Senate today, Chris, I just want to talk about Democrats and primary challenges. We have Arkansas, a Democratic incumbent, getting a primary challenge, and in New York, a new Democratic incumbent, Kristen Gillibrand, scaring off yet another primary challenge. Harold Ford at this hour has announced that he will not challenge the Democrat in New York. What are the politics of the way those two incumbent senators have played this situation tell incumbent Democrats about how to handle challenges in primaries?
Well, I think the primary challenge in Arkansas, which has been the result of a lot of very excellent grassroots organizing, Accountability Now, Move On is doing fundraising, a lot of the netroots, is really smart. I mean, the fact of the matter is Blanche Lincoln is essentially a dead woman walking at this point. Her re-elect numbers look terrible. Her approval ratings are very low. And I think at this point, removing her from the ticket probably is a net benefit to Democrats there. And she's also just not represented the will of the people of Arkansas on things like the public option. In the case of Harold Ford, it was one of the most laughably inept candidate rollouts in recent memory, and I think finally at some point he got the message this was not going anywhere.
Thanks, Chris Hayes of The Nation.